Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, which means it's another live with the Power Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony.
What is going on, people?
And Tony, would you like to introduce our very special guest?
Your microphone was a little off, and then it came back. So
I'm sorry. Would you like to introduce our very special guest?
Sure. So from the movies Walk Away, The Night House, and the upcoming film Burned Over District, we have Amy Zubieta. Hopefully I said that right. I'm horrible. Okay, well, that works.
I was actually thinking that when we were when I started pushing everything live, I'm like, did he ask how to say her last name? Because I would have messed it up completely. But
honestly, usually I mess everything up, but I tell everyone, it's like a rite of passage because I just suck at pronouncing names. So
yeah, I do it all day long.
You got this one. Just say all the letters.
Oh.
What I do during work is if there's a name that I just I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, I just Google it, and I just do like pronunciation, and I hit play, and see how that works out. Sometimes it's wrong, but whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, we had you scheduled before, and then because you're you're busy, like you're doing your craft, you couldn't come on because you were on set, and I said that the world was talking about it, and they are because I'm part of the world, and I was talking about it. So, so yeah, welcome
At least
to
in
the
Kevin's
show.
little world.
Yeah, exactly. It's all in this room. This is my world. I don't leave the house. But yeah, so yeah, welcome to the show, and we're glad to have you on. And looking at some of your past work, there's definitely some horror stuff in there. We were talking a little bit beforehand, and you have some comedy stuff coming up. So before we get into the projects that people can check out now or coming up. Have you dabbled in many other subgenres, or even like drama or comedy or whatever before?
Yeah, so a lot of what I've done is definitely in drama realm, and more recently, specifically thrillers and horrors. But my first few roles were, I feel like I started getting typecast as like young mom who's struggling or just stressed. I'm like, it's just because I cry well, isn't it? That's what it is. And I'm a mom. Oh, great. So I'm actually like a stressed mom all the time, and you can see that. So I just fit. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not offended.
Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, it's good. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I was thinking of casting a struggling mom, I don't know if I necessarily would go to you directly, but I mean, I can see it. I mean, watching, I can see that you could pull it off, but I just don't know. I'm horrible at guessing what people are good at. That's why I don't direct movies, because it would just be extremely miscast. But that's okay.
That could be funny.
Yeah, it could be. You're right. Like Tony as a distressed mom.
I just need a wig and stuff like that.
Nope. Same way.
I can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, just stay the way you are is perfect, Tony. Don't ever want anyone tell you different.
Don't ever change.
Yeah. So do you want to talk a little bit about how you got into the biz, as they say?
Yeah. Sure. Honestly, my first role I kind of fell into. I was doing community theater after I graduated from college for a while, and a director who was doing a film here in Syracuse reached out to me and was like, I saw you in this show Disenchanted. I was Cinderella.
Nice.
And he asked if I would be interested in coming to audition. They were making a feature-length film, very, very loosely based on a mayor from years ago, Lee Alexander. very loosely based. and that was my first role. I was like, well, this is awesome. I really like this. But I was still working full time at the time, and I didn't really see this as a realistic like career thing. I didn't know that was something that people could do, like normal everyday people that have a 9-to-5 kind of job and a child. But then slowly more things started coming up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to make this work because I'm good at it and I really like it. And the people that I'm meeting and kind of the training and education that I'm sort of figuring out to find my own tools to keep, growing in this field, it's all kind of coming together. So it's just gone on from there.
That's awesome. Just real quick, we have a couple people. So In a Basket, I'm not sure what your name is. I just call you In a Basket. He's saying hey. And then Sergio is in the chat room as always. He just wants to say hi, Amy.
Oh, hi, Sergio. And hi, In a Basket.
Yeah. Hello, In a Basket. So like you said, you were doing the show in community theater. Did you do a lot of that before someone saw you? Like, I love that stuff. I love going to see small productions and even high school productions. My one of my nephews he does like musicals and stuff in high school. And I whenever I can, I go check it out. He's actually Spam-A-Lot coming up. I have to go see him in Spam-A-Lot, which is awesome. Because I've paid a lot of money to see that in the past. And I'm like, it would be great to see a bunch of high school kids do Spam-A-Lot because they've probably never seen the movie. So even better,
fun.
Yeah, I love like when things before pandemic, me and my wife would go quite a bit. And I always, tell people it's like the amount of like, you can watch a movie and be like, wow, that performance really kind of touched my soul or whatever, but it's different in person. Could be like a nothing show, but if there's one person who's killing it, it's just like, wow, they really just like blew it out of the park. And that's how you got your first role in a film. But so yeah, was that something you've been doing for a long time?
Yeah, I started doing theater my sophomore year of high school, and then a little bit of opera when I was in college. And then once I finished up with that, kind of went back to some community theater for a while. But my first starring role, which I had forgotten about until I was talking with a friend a few months ago. Completely forgot that this happened in my life. Mm-hmm. I was at a summer camp, day camp, like 9 or 10 years old. And one of the choices for the day or that week was drama. And I had signed up for that. Honestly, not sure why, because I was one of those kids that really didn't talk to anybody unless I absolutely had to. Mm-hmm. And we were doing a production of The Three Billy Goats Gruff. So someone who doesn't talk to anybody, and they're kind of doling out the parts pretty much. Do you want this part? If you raise your hand or speak up first, you get it. So I got what was left over because I don't talk to people, which was the troll under the bridge. And to this day, my dad thinks it's so funny. It's like, that was your starring role. You were so good at this troll. Because turns out I could do this really creepy demonic voice and like small, weird 9-10-year-old, because I had already hit that awkward phase. Just doing this terrible, terrifying voice. What? Who is this? And why is she scaring all like the pretty little goats trying to cross this bridge? Yeah,
it worked out. That's awesome. I did like when I was a kid, I did some stuff with school, and like I was just oblivious. Like I was oblivious to what was what. Like I was literally like the punchline of a joke. My character was a punchline of a joke because I was always a hefty child, and they like legit put me in like a skin tight like workout clothes, and it was like a fat camp kind of thing. And I was like, okay, whatever. Meanwhile, my parents were like, you realize that like they were just making fun of you? I'm like, well, that's good. My whole school was making fun of me then. That's awesome. But
all eyes were on me.
This is back in the day. It was in the 80s, so who knows? But In a Basket saying his name is Zach. What's up, Zach?
Cool.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll remember that next time around. But yeah, no, that's pretty sick. I don't know. I think once I realized that was the case, it was more like I was afraid to be in front of people. Hence me wearing a mask when I was doing band stuff, like I was telling you beforehand. I get kind of nervous around people. Yeah.
They're very cool masks.
Is it though? Is it?
What the ones you made?
I wouldn't lie to you. I've known you for almost a half hour now. I would
That's
not.
True. That's true. We go way back to roughly
35 minutes ago.
Yeah. So doing all these other, like, opera and stuff like that. Growing up, Sergio's asking. He asks every time. So were you a fan of horror growing up? And if so, do you have a favorite horror movie or one that like affected you?
I'm very, very scared of horror.
Okay.
Very scared.
If it's done right.
There was definitely a chunk of time, probably in high school, where it was kind of fun and cool with a group of friends. We'd get Rent. I think Blockbuster was still around. A horror movie or two, and watch those. And me and all my girlfriends would be terrified.
Yeah.
And the guys, I'm sure, were laughing at us because often I would also cry or like run out of the room because I really, really can't handle them. Do I have a favorite?
Or one that really like kind of messed with you? Like I have favorites, but those are not necessarily the ones that affected me the most. I just like the movies that scared me the most. I wouldn't necessarily call my favorites because they scared me. I don't know, but yeah, it's just anything. I mean, if you think of it, you don't have to answer right now. You can always come back to it.
So,
see, Sergio, you ask these questions, and it's a hard one to answer. We appreciate it, Sergio.
One of the first that I remember, and I've talked about before. I don't know. It's definitely not a favorite, but it was definitely one that scared me quite a bit. Pet Sematary. Because a baby should not be able to do those things.
Yeah.
It was very good with a scalpel, and it really bothered me.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. I didn't like the atmosphere things. Oh, so if a lot of what has to do with the atmosphere terrifies me. So like honestly, fully carpeted houses and sofas and chairs covered in plastic, I think is the most horrifying. That reeks of death to me.
Yeah.
And I find it terrifying.
Is that, I don't even know, is the covering things in plastic even still a thing? Like, because I remember when I was a kid. I was going to say.
Really not. And part of that is I think my brain trying to figure out when it's supposed to be, when is that a thing and why is that a thing? And that bothers me.
When I was a kid.
The time of when that makes sense.
Every time I think of that, I think of like an older person's house.
Right.
That's like they're trying not to clean anymore, so they put the plastic on just to keep everything like.
What I think
and
it
you can
is.
Smell cat.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When I was a kid, there was multiple houses like that I would go to regularly, like friends' houses that they would have plastic on their furniture. When I was like, again, this is like in the 80s, but like it would be like they lived with their grandparents, and it was more like not that they didn't want to clean, they just wanted to keep this couch that they paid $1 billion for completely clean, So it's like you're not going to sit on this couch unless there's plastic on it. You're going to spill something, whatever. And every day they're just vacuuming the same spots over and over again, and kind of deal. Matthew Nash is saying, "Hey, Scream Queen." How do you know that?
Is our director for Walk Away and the Abbott.
Oh, nice. We have the trailer for Walk Away, and that's playing right now on Tubi. And it's for free. Oh, it's on Amazon too?
Yeah, that's where I watch it, on Amazon.
Okay. Well, you know what? I watched it on Tubi because word on the streets is that the directors make more money on Tubi than they do on Amazon. I'm just saying.
That's good.
I had to watch some ads, but you know what? You're welcome, Matt. I'm just being dumb. But no, I didn't realize it was on there as well. But I watched it on Tubi and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was done really well. So
it had that like Twilight Zone-ish kind of deal where it's just like, okay, like a ongoing loop. It's like, okay. I was wondering, I'm like, now I got to watch to the end to see, what is this thing? But
Jason Egan saying, hey.
Jay is another director for Walk Away.
Oh, nice. I don't know if you heard, Jason, but I was talking about how I watched the movie on Tubi so you guys can make more money. I'm just saying.
It rhymes with Zubi.
That's true. It does. Good point. But anyways. So for me, like with horror movies, the ones that like get me the most are ones that could technically happen in real life. So like
I think any of them can technically happen since people can think of them, and that's what terrifies me.
Well,
and in a vicious cycle of trying to justify or figure out how it could potentially happen or what is happening if things are kind of left unresolved.
Yeah. But I mean, like something like on the lines of, I mean, I love the Friday the 13th movies, but how many times is someone going to get killed and come back? That's not going to happen over and over again.
You might have like a copycat, but you're never going
to
get
exactly
person to come over.
Or Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever, so it's like, but like things like The Strangers and stuff like that, that's like, even like Silence of the Lambs, that's something that could really happen. And that movie terrifies me.
Yeah.
Zubi on Tubi. So yeah, that's what Matt Nash just commented. So yes, Sergio, the movie that we're talking about it's on Tubi now, and it's also on Amazon Prime if you have Prime. And I actually have the trailer for that. So before Sergio asks me, I'm going to play the trailer for Walk Away, which is now streaming on Tubi and Amazon Prime and features our awesome guests. And the directors are in the chat room on YouTube, so go talk to them there. But here's the trailer for Walk Away. We'll be right back.
Is that Sam?
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 Sam!
Go.
Did you make it, like, past where you guys were last time?
No, it's the same thing. It's just a circle. Keeps going around.
Right there?
Yeah. So that's it. No matter where we go, we always end up back in the attic. She's in the basement. Okay.
This place, I can't explain it. It's like it's pulling us inside. It wants us deeper inside.
Why? What is it with you and what I do? You're the one who's giving me this problem every day.
This place should be paradise. It should be perfect. We should want to stay here forever.
Why can't we?
This place does something to you. You think you have it together. You have your phone. You're civilized. We're gonna die in this cabin, and it's gonna be nothing to the world.
It was the house. It's in my head. When we get out of here, you gotta tell everyone it was an accident because this house is inside my head.
Who needs civilization? Who needs friendship? Who needs your hopes and dreams? Who cares?
I care, Rachel.
That's because you still think you have a future.
We need to change that trailer so it says "and Tubi" at the end. I don't know. I'm just being dumb. But yeah, so that's there. So Sergio, go check it out. Check in with us afterwards and let us know what you think of it. Wait till the show's over, obviously, but it's there. And you have another movie that is in it's post production now, right? The what's that one called? It's the Burnt Over District.
The Burned Over District.
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about that one?
Sure. So that one, the premise for that is, kind of starts off with a tragic event. The wife dies in a car accident, and I'm the sister of the main character and kind of helping him through his grief. And in this town, we start encountering weird things and this cult. So it's a good, fun, culty movie, and between the two of us, we have to basically try to figure out how to survive the cult.
Nice.
So it's
There's nothing wrong with a good cult movie.
It's a little slow burn, and then my character goes through a lot of stuff, but I get a little revenge at the end. Get to come back and make up for everything the cult put me through.
Oh, nice.
And we have a super incredible special effects makeup guy. So all the gore and the bloody stuff and cool things that camera and technical people can do look freaking awesome. Very
nice.
excited about that.
Well, that's. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a good cult movie, and you already mentioned a few things. Well, besides it being a cult movie, you mentioned a slow burn. It sounds like there's a good payoff. I'm a big fan of a slow burn, a good slow burn. As long as it's, as long as there's a good payoff, I'm willing to sit through it. And like, the one thing I like about a lot of slow burns is there's a lot of character development usually, and you start to care about the actual character a little bit. So things start to like really like, okay, this is like, that's what I mean by good payoff. Like, you start to care, like, okay, I want her to get her revenge. Yes, I want this to happen. So that's awesome.
Because nowadays it's either like you get the slow burns that are slow burn throughout, and it's just like I waited for something and nothing happened.
Nothing came.
Or you get the, I don't care about any of the characters. It like hits you so quick. You're like, okay, that person died and this person died, and I really don't care. So when you get that slow burn and character development, and then it starts hitting the fan, it's like, okay, this is what I was waiting for, and let's see if the person who I wanted to, survives or whatever. So it's a nice mix.
Yeah, and I still think, so, slow burn, I get a little bit of vengeance. The end, I still think is a little bit surprising, at least in my mind. So hopefully it's like that for some people too, and just makes it a little bit more exciting.
I'm just going to warn you. Unfortunately, people like myself that watch way too many movies.
Know all the potential endings. I know.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is like, I'm hoping that I'll be wrong. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of times, like one of the other guys who's on here fairly regularly, the 13th Wolfman, and he's going to kick himself for not being on tonight because he loves cult movies as well. Yeah, he's in Washington State. He's got thunderstorms, so his power's blinking off and on. Whatever.
Oh.
Suck it up. Anyways, I don't know how you can really do that with a thunderstorm, but yeah, he's I don't know. Like we do movie reviews on the side as well, and a lot of times we're like, I totally saw this coming, whatever, blah blah blah. That doesn't mean it's not good. It just means like, okay, so we're super excited if someone like throws us for a loop. Like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, I want other people to see this, and I'm just curious what they think's going to happen, kind of deal. So, I mean, either way, I'm going to watch it, so it doesn't matter to me. But yeah, if I mean, that being said too, there's been so many like tropes that have been done over and over again. That doesn't make them bad. That means that they work. So even if it is something that I'm like, okay, I saw that kind of coming. I'm just talking out of my butt right now, by the way, because I don't have any idea what's going on with it. But when any ideas on when this is supposed to be coming out, and is it going to be doing like a festival run or anything like that, or is it direct to VOD?
I don't know all the plans yet. I know that we're set to do at least like a small kind of local premiere sometime next month. I don't know exactly what the plans are after that, if they want to get it through some festivals before trying to distribute it, or just get it up right and going. So we shall see.
Well, I'll keep my eyes on it for sure. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's like cons are coming back around, so horror cons are happening again. So it's something where a lot of them will have like little film festivals and stuff like that. So it may even be good to like kind of go that route for a little bit. That being said, I want to see it now. So I'm just saying.
I know. As soon as I know, you will know.
Well, no, I mean, like I'm sitting there being like, oh, you guys should go do this festival thing. But then that means I just won't see it for a wicked long time. Because, I mean, we have cons around here, but they're not the kind that do those. Unfortunately, all the big ones in my area have stopped. But whatever. Tony's got all the big ones in his area. He's in New Jersey, by the way. So yeah.
Okay.
And I'm in Mass. We didn't
We're
talk about that
neighbors.
before. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah, we're kind of neighbors.
We are. I'll be there next month, actually.
For what?
So another film, The Abaddon Pit, that Matt and Jay, our next project. They started last year. We have a weekend next month where we'll be filming, and I'll get my one day on that. And 4 out of the 5 of us on the Walk Away cast team are coming back for this one as well, having little roles here and there. But another cult movie.
Nice.
Interestingly, I could probably summarize it very similarly, kind of starting with a tragic event. But what I have seen and just knowing, both of these directors for the Burned Over District and the Abaddon Pit, styles are completely different, and the whole trajectory and paths that they take past that very similar summary are completely different.
Nice.
The role that I get to play is completely different. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice. You said you're going to be in Mass for that?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you know what part? Or I'm not expecting like, oh yeah, we're going to be at this address. I mean, like what area, township, if you would?
Manchester by the Sea.
Manchester by the Sea.
Boston-ish.
Okay. All right. Boston-ish. Where I'm like 45 minutes outside of Boston. I'm in Central Mass. I'm in the Worcester area. I know you probably don't know Worcester, but it's garbage.
There's a rock climbing gym there, I think.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in Worcester. They're trying. They've been trying for a while. They actually, a lot of big Hollywood movies have been filming in Worcester.
Oh.
The new Hocus Pocus films not too far from here. There's a movie called Free Guy, which actually one of your castmates from Walk Away was in Free Guy as like a uncredited thing, but that was a movie that was filmed in downtown Worcester.
Wait. Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds? Free Guy?
Yeah.
Freaking love that movie.
Yeah, that was in downtown Worcester. They filmed a bunch of the new Black Panther in Worcester, which is weird. But all the cop cars they used said Boston on it because no one knows what Worcester is. Matthew actually saying North Shore. So yeah, North Shore, dude.
Oh.
Are they from there? Are they from Mass?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Right on. Are you going to there's a horror convention this weekend. I don't know if you guys are yes. Alyssa Talbot was background in Free Guy.
Was she? Oh, Alyssa was my sister in Walk Away. Love her.
Yeah. So that's Worcester's don't get me wrong, it is hot garbage. But they're trying to make it better. I grew up here, so I can say it. It's whatever. No matter how hard you scrub, the smell's not going to come out. So it's Worcester. But yeah, so yeah, Matt, there's a Monster Expo is this weekend.
Ooh.
And it's a smaller con. It's only the second one. It's the second one in within the year. I don't know if I'm going or not, but it's so yeah, Sergio's already asking for the other trailer, but I do want to point out that Sergio mentioned that the first trailer for Walk Away he's saying that he's too scared to watch the movie.
Oh, Sergio, you can do it.
If anyone can do it, Sergio can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, I want you to check in with him next time you see him
to see if he
he's like, I haven't slept since. No, anyways, but yeah. So yeah, do you want to play the trailer for Burned Over District? We have that now as well. So see if this one scares you just as much, Sergio. If not, and this is another reason why, if you're listening to the audio podcast, you should be watching the Tuesday show because
how are you going to see the videos?
You're just listening to the trailers. That doesn't make sense. Anyways, yeah, wicked weird. Anyways, here's the trailer for Burned Over District. We'll be right back again.
comes after this. What the hell is this place?
Well, settlers brought religion, religion brought fear, and that fear brought more use for this place. All sorts of rituals and gatherings, executions, baptisms happening here. It became a holy place of sorts. Weird, wild shit, man.
So Sergio, was that too scary for you? Oh wait, what's the answer? Just kidding. So yeah, that looks interesting as well. It looks very cultish, if you would. And Matt Nash is saying it looks awesome. It does.
It looks like there was like different genres in it, like not genres, but like it looked like a timepiecey part for a second, but then it was like new. I'm like, it looked like it took place in like different like centuries at one point in time. But
maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. There's only one way to find out, Tony, and that's watch it when it comes out.
Yeah, I'll have to wait to watch it.
I mean, the cult definitely really leans into that kind of Puritan style for sure, which is just such a weird contrast to an obviously modern day for the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean that stuff. I mean, if it's done right, I mean that stuff's pretty enjoyable. And I don't know if it's if the cult stuff is making a resurgence or not.
But it looks like
have you been seeing a lot of cult stuff, Tony? Like recently?
There's one that, speaking of, it's right next to. It's called The Long Night. That one has like a cultish thing that stars Scout Taylor Compton. But then you have like Midsummer, and then you have, you know, Mandy, and you have, so it seems like it's kind of bringing like new life to the, because for a while I didn't see much of like cult-like films. But then I think it started with maybe coming back with Rob Zombie and The Lords of Salem and stuff like that. So, and then Hereditary and Midsummer and like all different styles.
I mean, but it hasn't been like overkill. Like there's I mean, not like back in like way back in the day, you'd see a lot of cult stuff. Like that's where Wolfie's coming in with his love of cult movies, is like movies from the 70s and 80s even. But no, I mean it's cool. I mean, I could always deal with a good cult movie. Because it seemed like for a while every show we had was around like a Wendigo kind of character. So it's like, you know, it's good to have something that's not a Wendigo for once. You know, but there's nothing wrong with that either, as long as it's cool. But so this one is the newest one. You have some other stuff that is in the works, right? You have a couple things in post-production right now. Dig, Submergent. That's a short, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, that one's a nice little dramatic one with mother who is dealing with dementia / Alzheimer's, and
oh geez,
and I have to kind of parse through everything that's happening with that.
Sergio is asking if you can see that movie on the, no, you can't see it on the computer just yet, Sergio. It's not out yet. Just keep your eyes to the show notes and to the Facebook page, and we'll definitely post when it's coming out, when we know, because I want to see it too, Sergio.
You will know, Sergio. You will know.
You will.
So now you said there's a movie coming out with the people from some of the cast from Walk Away. Is it one of those things where you kind of knew each other before Walk Away too, or is it you met on set there and because we've had many a times where it's like everybody gets so comfortable, and then it's like, okay, now we see them in this movie, and this movie, and this movie, and they become like a close knit little like family. So I'm guessing that kind of is what happened with Walk Away.
Yeah, the five of us in the cast, none of us knew each other before working on that film. One of our actors, Ben, knew Matt, our director, but otherwise, cast, everyone was all new. And it maybe part of it was because when we were filming, we were, staying in an Airbnb together for a long weekend, and, no one was an asshole. And we were just in a cabin in the woods hanging out together. And yeah, we all really clicked. So it just kind of made sense to bring us back for the next one, for roles that really fit, that we worked with and knew that, we'd be able to work well together and have a good time and have it be fun. Yes, part of it is work, but we also want to have fun.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys are clicking, I mean, that's the thing, is sometimes you can tell when people don't know each other. I wouldn't have guessed that you guys didn't know each other. I mean, I don't know, because sometimes you can obviously tell it's uncomfortable, but it didn't really seem that way, And were you guys staying at that house, or were you staying at a different location?
Not at that one, although some of the crew were, but the rest of us, 5 cast members, and then the rest of the crew, so I think there were 11 of us in total, were in one giant Airbnb, just hanging out, playing hide and seek on our last night of the first weekend, because there were just so many good nooks and crannies. It was great.
Sergio is saying that he wants to be friends with Amy, if that's okay with you.
Wait, is he asking you if it's okay with me, or is
yes? Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's asking me to ask you. So yeah, you can follow her on social media. Like, she's on Instagram, she's on Facebook. Right. So just go follow her there, and she'll post about when the movie's coming out.
I will.
Yeah, she's very friendly. You know that, Sergio. You've known her just as long as I have. I've known you a little bit longer. Let's face it.
Yeah, we're like BFF now.
Yeah, totally. No, but it's, I don't know. That's one thing. Like Tony was saying, sometimes you see like these groups of actors, and next thing you know, you see them all in the same movies, and that's not a bad thing, because they obviously work well together. So is that something that I mean, I know it's too early to tell, but is there anything else in the works down the road that you know of, where with some of these cast members, or is it all something where it's just like as it comes, whatever?
For the most part, as it comes. Although one short film that Faith and I got to work on, The Redhead in Walk Away, we nearly finished up right before COVID shut things down, and just because of scheduling, we haven't been able to finish yet. We have one day left in June to finish up, mostly pickups and kind of transitional shots. But it's a short called Ginger and Poppy. So I get to don a blonde wig and become a very, very optimistic, little bit over the top Poppy. And she, as Ginger, kind of gets dragged along in my scheme. Although she's on board with it. I convince her eventually. We can't pay our rent, and there's some burglars in our neighborhood, and I come up with this brilliant idea to catch the burglars with like Scooby-Doo / Home Alone style shenanigans, because I'm brilliant. We had so much fun, and it was so great to work with each other again. So that
sounds fun. That sounds fun. Yeah. And Tony was smirking when you mentioned the Home Alone.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm sold." Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all about
I was
that.
talking to my director when we were kind of going through the part in the script where we were starting to set up our traps, and his name is also Tony, coincidentally. It's like, Tony,
it's a good name.
Can I like draw up what we're gonna do? He was like, yeah. I had at least 6 pages of ideas. So he was like, all right, we're gonna work this in. You guys just do what you want. I'll call cut, after a reasonable amount of time, but these are hilarious. So we'll set up a shot and you guys just roll with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's one thing too. Like, I don't know. I mean, like doing stage plays, like you kind of you have to pretty much stick to the script. Have you seen like, you know, when in all the projects you've done, is it kind of like a mixture of like you know, I mean, it all depends on the director, I guess, right? But some of them give you the freedom and stuff like that. But has it been something where you have to stick, like that you've noticed, or that you've, you know, in your history, is it a more common thing to stick to the script, or just get from point A to point B and whatever happens in between?
It definitely varies. I would say for more of my experience, it's been stick to the script. Not necessarily word for word unless it really has to be that precise. But more often than not, yeah, pretty closely to the script. Although it is fun, and maybe part of the reason why our walkaway team kind of had to click so well was our first shot, our first day on set was a long barbecue scene. And I think we had 2 or 3 hours set for the shot. And Matt and Jay just were like, all right, we're just going to keep rolling and you guys keep going. And it was essentially all improv except for, you know, a couple things that people had to say to make sure we were getting, you know, from point A to point B.
Right. So
that was kind of how we got to know each other.
That's awesome. No, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's kind of like where I was getting at with the question about because like I'm horrible with memorizing things, so I've always been scared to even try because it's like I'm not going to be able to remember this. I'm just not. So it's like, you know, if I found someone that would, you know, I have friends that do things, so it's like, maybe I'll just be like, let me just babble in front of the camera for a little bit, and
I guess
if you want to. Yeah.
If you think it's funny, you keep it.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those things where, you know, especially like I said before, we mentioned if you knew each other beforehand, if it's someone new coming into the fold, you really don't know if you can, you know, let them go on their own tangent because, you know, what people don't realize is, especially with independent film, I'm sure with bigger films the same, you have a certain amount of time. So if you don't know the person, they could take their own route and make a 5-minute scene into a 10-minute scene. But then I guess the more you learn, you know, the more you work with a person, then you know that, okay, you can stray off the script a little bit and we'll see what you have kind of deal. But I guess in the beginning, if you don't know, then it's like kind of just stay on that script for a little bit. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
And usually, I mean, I truly respect writers. So in most cases, I think it makes sense to stick to the script. And part of that is because it also really informs the character. So if you're only saying this much and specifically this way, there's usually a reason for it. And if you can't connect to it, then maybe there is like some little disconnect that something needs to be changed slightly. But often it doesn't necessarily need to be more or drawn out unless, you know, we're just going to play around and see where it goes. So it can go either way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It seems like there's a reason why not everyone does it, right? Because not everyone can pull it off. And I'm one of those people. I can't. I have been cut out of movies, so I'm just saying.
Have you?
Oh, I have. Rightfully so. And the movie that I was cut out of was also hot garbage, just like Worcester is hot garbage. Yeah, but it's you know you're good when you get cut out of a really bad movie, because you just weren't not good enough. But yeah, I don't know. The other thing that I'm in, I don't speak, so even better. I'm a zombie, so that's cool. But
wasn't that zombie coffee commercial? Because I was dying, and then I noticed this little thing down here that said everyone can see and hear, and I was like, "Fuck, are they watching
you're good
me right now?"
No, you were good.
That first part
I figured it out eventually.
Yeah. No, that's our sponsor, Deadly Grounds. They're awesome. They regular like the horror conventions and stuff too. They're legit the only coffee company. Like, that being said, like, they are a sponsor, but you know, whatever. Before
the reason they are a sponsor is because
we're spending so much money. Yeah. Like me and my cousin Leo are buying so much. Like, we'd go to a convention and be like, all right, we're here. The con's not even open yet. I'm going to go spend like $60 on coffee right now. And then we'd like load up and then we're like, all right, we're good. And he's like, we should probably work together. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, it's if you're a coffee drinker and you're at a convention, Amy, have you ever gone to horror conventions at all? No. Maybe one of these days you should. Maybe
I want to. I really do.
And because I mean, probably closer would be. Actually, some of them are pretty far from New York because they're like 3 hours from me, so it's probably like 4. But there's a bunch in New Jersey, so it's one of those things where I know I've seen Deadly Grounds at 2 of them. I don't think they're at Chiller.
But anyways, I don't know if you're a coffee drinker, but if you are, they have it's free samples, and then you just buy the bags and stuff like that. But it's like, I don't know. They keep everyone going. Like everyone's like waiting. Like you would go to convention, like we would have a booth, so it would be there before it opens, and like you have all these like horror icons like waiting for coffee,
waiting for the coffee.
Booth. Yeah, and it's like I don't know. It's pretty cool. But they're great, and they're great people. So I'm gonna stop talking about them because I would keep going for another 15 minutes. But yeah. So yeah, maybe one day, maybe like one of the movies that you're in or something, we'll have a booth at a con, and it's an experience.
Give me an excuse to go. That'd be cool.
Totally. It's an experience, like from both sides. As a like a person who's like running a booth, it's an experience. As a person who's like just going there to hang out, it's you just see so much stuff, and it's like I've said it before, like you don't see rom-com conventions, you don't see like drama conventions.
No.
You see Christmas conventions.
You do, but I'm just saying, you see horror conventions year round. Yeah, Christmas is Christmas. It's not Halloween.
Now, you're also in the Night House.
Yes.
Which is, you have your independent movies. That one caught me off guard because I was like, okay, well, I mean, when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, it's definitely a different genre. It's more like a thriller-ish, I guess you would call it, than a straight-up horror. So how different was that? Because it looked like it was a little bit on a bigger budget scale, if I had to say. Sure. So is it different than your independent films, or is it kind of run the same way, or how does that work?
Well, it's definitely different. I mean, with the indie films that I've been on, they're much smaller. So you have a chance to really get to know people and become like a family on some of them. I mean, this was huge. I was only on set for 3 days for the, I don't know, month they were filming around here. And I mean, obviously like huge names were working on that project. Like got to get my hair and makeup done with Rebecca Hall, who I didn't know at the time. And so I'm texting my roommate. I'm like, who is she? And then she's yelling at me via text in all capitals, like, Amy, how do you not know this? But she's wonderful. And one of my friends was the makeup assistant. So I kind of hung out in their room for a while because I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing on a set when I'm just like hanging out for many hours until they call me for rehearsal and blocking and then shooting. What am I doing?
Yeah.
But it was great. And there are a few people working on crew that I'd worked with before on local projects, or if they were recent graduates of Syracuse University. So it was really great to see them. And I've seen them working on other things and bigger projects. So just to have them keep going on in their careers is amazing. Yeah, it was really great. Wait, have you seen The Night House?
I have. It's in my collection.
Cool. You know the I guess the figure. So there's one scene where I'm under the bed. We're going through a blocking rehearsal, and I think the DP and the director were talking, or the director was talking to Rebecca, and was saying that something about the negative spaceman. I'm lying under this bed, and all of a sudden I'm like, what is this movie about? Like a spaceman. And I'm like peeking out, I'm like, what could they possibly be talking about? And then finally it dawns on me that spaceman is not astronaut.
Yeah.
But a negative space human thing. And then I realized that the cutout is what they're referring to. I'm like, oh, it all makes sense. I'm glad that all happened in my head and not out loud to all you crew people who already know what's going on and not me. I'm going to stay under this bed. And then also reach out and grab someone's leg when they forgot I was there. That was
Did
fun.
you do that?
I was proud of myself. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. It would have been even better if you weren't supposed to be there. You're just hanging out under a bed. just like poke out, like, what is this? Is a space movie? And they're just like, whoa, what are you doing?
Did I miss this page in the script?
I didn't know what to do with myself. You guys haven't called me in a while, so I annoyed them in the makeup room. So I just figured I'd hang out here. Whatever. That would be great.
But I'm guessing you haven't seen it yet, Kev?
I haven't. No, I haven't watched it.
It's a good one. I enjoyed it.
It looks it. Yeah, I did my research because I'm a good host. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. Anyways, so did we talk about the musical? Or was that before we started like going?
That was before her music and teaching music and such.
Right. So you'd mentioned that you dabble in some singing and you do some other music stuff, and you have a musical or a movie that's going to be done that has a musical number in it. Is there dancing as well, or is it just music?
Oh, I mean, there's no dancing yet, but I might have to if you know the musical theater spirit.
Yeah,
it just might come out. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's called. Actually, this is another cult one. Forgot about
nice.
that.
A musical cult movie. That's crazy.
Mark of the Werebeard.
What?
Yeah.
A werebeard.
I read through the script once. It's ridiculous. It's a little bit of a throwback to kind of tropey, ridiculous 80s. I don't know.
It's just a
you
throwback.
Have me sold with that.
Yeah.
Cheesy 80s plus the type like
is a good word for it.
And that's the one thing, like, hopefully there's so many movies out there that, might change titles and stuff, but that one definitely catches. It's like so different and weird that I'm like, I have to watch this movie now.
Yeah. That would be something that if there was still video stores around, you walk by like, Werebeard, what is that? Like, I want to check that out.
Yeah.
What? It's a musical? This is crazy. There's people over there putting on the Ritz, and there's a Werebeard attacking everyone. I don't know.
Obviously.
Yeah. Durr.
This is what happens in upstate New York. Doesn't everyone know?
It's true. So you were born and raised in upstate New York?
Yes.
Nice. I've only been up there a handful of times. I was part of a paranormal group, and we actually went up there to investigate some places back in the day.
Really?
I'm that kind of guy. So I went from that to 3D printing. So I'm a winner all the way around. My wife is really won the lottery. I'm just saying.
But you said she joined you, so she must have enjoyed the.
She had to make
about
sure
the
that
3D printing.
Crazy. Yeah. She joined me just to keep me in line. I don't know.
Was she using the equipment?
Yeah.
So she didn't join you just for that.
Whatever. Anyways,
we got something out of the deal.
Yeah, we would go up to upstate like for stuff like that every once in a while. But yeah, I mean, it's nice up there.
Was there any big ones over there?
Big ones, what?
Like some place that actually was.
There was this was up
activity.
This was up. There was one that was up by. I mean, it was really up there. I guess it was up by Niagara Falls.
Okay.
But it was the Iron something. Like it's a museum. It used to be a church before. It was a church and a funeral home. Now it's a museum. That's where we had Iron Island Museum. I think it's what it's called. But yeah, that was good. Weird. Yeah, it was fun. That part of my life is over because it's too much time. I have this going on. I need something to do. I need something to keep me busy. Is what it is. Basically, what it is. At the end of the day, that's why I do the show too. I need something to keep me sane. But Sergio reminded us that it's about time to wrap up. So thanks, Sergio. He has a stopwatch apparently. But
Sergio, you don't want to keep talking to me? I thought we were almost friends.
He's waiting for the show to end so he can verify that you're going to accept his friend request. Because he was looking, he didn't see a blue check mark, so he didn't know if it was you or not.
I have not seen a request come in.
He does want to keep talking to you. All right, so so that being said, where can people like Sergio follow you for more information on what you have coming up and all of your stuff? Because you do other things too, like you mentioned rock climbing. You're into like that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah,
so,
I'm a yoga instructor. I work at
that's awesome.
Central Rock Gym in Syracuse, so I climb there. I teach there.
Nice. There's it's totally off subject of rock climbing, but I think the gym that she works out at has a rock climbing wall as well. But one of the American Ninja Warrior contestants is in Marlborough, Massachusetts.
Oh, cool.
And she has a gym, or she works out at a gym like around that area. But
so I'm always Jill of all trades, is what you say.
Yeah, for real.
Because we didn't bring up before we came live. You were talking about how you taught music and taught, a whole bunch of stuff. So literally a Jill of all trades.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can kick someone's butt at a rock wall. Then you can pretend like you didn't mean to do it, and then because you can act like you didn't mean to do it, and then you can teach them how to stretch because they got their butt kicked.
And I worked in human resources for almost 10 years, so I can also be super diplomatic when I need to be.
Oh, it's true. Or we can just fire someone for being inappropriate. Yeah, because that's what happens.
Or make them file a hurt feelings report when we're done with.
Yeah.
Here, did I hurt your feelings? Here's a report. Okay. Yeah. I'll get back to you on that.
I'll get right to that.
Yeah. Anyways, so where can people like Sergio stalk you? I mean, follow you on social media? Sorry.
Instagram, amy.zubieta, or Facebook. I don't know what mine.
I think it's just your name.
There's got to only be one, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think it's just your name. I mean, unless you have like a fan page. Sometimes like people have fan pages and stuff too.
I kind of did for a while, and it was too much work. I don't think it was worth it. I spend far too much time on this stuff anyways.
Yeah.
Just
I hear you.
One more bit of work that I don't need to do.
Right. I hear you. Yeah. So Sergio, go follow her there, and you can find out what she's got going on, and everyone else who's listening obviously do the same thing.
Yeah.
Check out I'm gonna mess up the name again. What was it called? The first one that we talked about.
What are we talking about? Walk Away.
Walk Away. Walk Away. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Tubi. Watch it wherever you'd like to watch it. I did it on Tubi. That's just my choice. But
Burned Over District.
Yes, which is
Night
coming
House.
out soon. Yes.
The Wear Beard.
For you musical numbers. So Tony, where can people follow you?
You can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. You can check me out there. Tony Has Nine Fingers on Twitter, which I hardly ever use. I don't know why I keep on saying it. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which I do not twerk or anything along
you
those
have a
lines.
TikTok?
I do have
He's
a
got
TikTok.
He's got 10,000 subscribers on
11,000 now.
Oh, he's got 11,000. Look at that.
Hey.
So I also do movie stuff. I show off movies, recommend movies, stuff like that. Pretty much that's my whole gig is movies. So Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me, and then of course here most Tuesday nights with Kev or Wolfie or Angel,
whoever. Yeah.
And then also check out the Wicked Horror Show Instagram, where you'll find little snippets that Kevin makes, so you can find out who previous guests were or upcoming guests or anything along those lines. So check out the Wicked Horror Show Instagram. Kevin?
Just A Knuckle on Instagram, besides doing this show here, which is part of the Dorkening Podcast Network, by the way. I forgot to mention that before. I'm also part of Black and White Fright, and I almost said Secret Underground Hideout. That show doesn't exist anymore. And Violence Buffet, which is a YouTube show that we've already got in trouble for once. But whatever, it is what it is, right?
What do you have? What episode you got in trouble?
We got in trouble. They restricted one of our videos for being too violent, which hence the name of the show. But yeah, that one's fun. We just try to basically disturb one of our friends who hasn't seen like anything with the most violent clips we can find in a movie. And I thankfully got him to close his eyes because he was so disturbed by a scene. So yeah, that was fun. Yeah, good times, right?
Great.
That's what guys do.
I'm not that friend.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you can check out all that stuff. And again, if you're listening to the podcast, head over to our Facebook or YouTube on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live show. You can hang out in the chat room and ask some questions.
And watch the trailers as opposed to just listening to them and wondering what we're talking about.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for being in the chat. Thanks, Sergio. He wants to say goodnight, Amy. There you go.
Good night, Sergio.
And yeah, that's about that. Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Goodbye.